God's name. Bless the Lord and forget not God's benefits. The Lord is kind and merciful. The Lord is kind and merciful. Merciful, merciful, and gracious is our God, slow to anger, abounding in kindness. The Lord is kind and merciful. The Lord is kind and merciful.
Welcome to your cathedral. I'm Father Greg Sakowicz. A guy says, I went for a run this morning, but I came back after 2 minutes because I forgot something. I forgot that I'm fat. I can't run for more than 2 minutes. Thank you very much again to Mark Teresi, beautiful, wonderful singing voice, another week of his beautiful voice, accompanied by David Jonas, our director of music here at the cathedral. So David and Mark, thank you. Special thank you again to Father Mark, producer Smolka, who's really done a phenomenal job all these weeks, not only with this spiritual direction or spiritual video with music, but all that else he does in the cathedral. So thank you to Father Mark, and to David. This lady's dog dies. And she goes to the priest and says, Father, would you bury my dead dog? And the priest thinks to himself, what a dumb request to bury the lady's dead dog. In a very kind way, he says, lady, why don't you take your dead dog down the street to the Lutheran minister? I'm sure he'd be very happy to bury your dead dog. And the woman says, oh, Father, thank you for your kindness, your understanding, your compassion, empathy. And by the way, Father, do you think $10,000 will cover the cost of my dog's funeral? The priest says, excuse me, you didn't tell me the dog was Catholic. Father Mark likes that one. You know, no one is perfect, even though at times we try to give the impression everything is fine. But deep within our hearts, we may be hurting, crying, struggling, confused, stress-filled, especially this time of COVID-19. We may have distanced ourselves from God. We go through all the emotions of things appearing fine. Yet our lives grow as wheat in the Lord, but our lives also filled with weeds that, if not uprooted, can choke the wheat, the richness of the Lord in our lives. It's the gospel for this weekend. The weeds and the wheat. You know, weeds can choke and paralyze us, can put us in a rut of anger, denial, self-pity, rationalization, or even separation from God. That's what weeds, choking and paralyze us, can do. Sometimes when we get so caught up with our own agendas, success, doubts, and troubles, we can't see Jesus as he walks with us and even runs after us. Great movie, 1992, The City of Joy. Patrick Swayze goes off to India to find himself, to discover life's real meaning and purpose. He becomes friends with a woman who runs a clinic for the poor and the sick. She is constantly challenging Swayze, who finds it very difficult to express his feelings. At one point, she looks at him and says, in life, we have three choices: to run, to be a spectator, or to be committed. The choice is ours. Now that's worth repeating. She says, in life, all of us have three choices: to run, to be a spectator, or to be committed. And the choice is ours. The same holds true for all of us. If we're committed and rooted in the Lord, we'll still at times going to struggle and doubt. We'll never really get lost among the weeds in our lives. You know, I think I've discovered the secret of life. The secret of life is this: to hunger is good. to hunger is good. All of us seek fullness. We want life to connect and make sense. All of us seek happiness and meaning. Allowing the Lord into our lives can open new doors of possibilities of joy, peace, and meaning we never dreamed possible. The believer acknowledges the gift of life and embraces the dream of Jesus. We live in a world where there exist many weeds and sin, but there exists among us much wrongdoing, suffering, pain, injustice, prejudice, and the list goes on and on and on. Think about this. Sin is not always doing something wrong. Sin is sometimes doing nothing at all. I'll repeat that. Sin is not always doing something wrong. Sin is sometimes doing nothing at all. Do our lives grow as weeds? Do our lives grow as wheat? Weeds choke. Wheat is life for others. The Lord loves us unconditionally. And no matter how many steps we take away from God, it only takes one step to get back to God. The Lord wants to walk with each one of us. The Lord is very much aware of the weeds in our lives and tenderly holds us as though no one else existed in the entire world. Now, the following story may help. An elderly man was walking along a beach after a big storm along the Atlantic Ocean. 50 yards ahead of him was a young woman who was picking up a starfish that the storm had stranded on the beach. She'd pick up the starfish, toss it in the sea. Pick up a starfish, toss it into the sea. Pick up a starfish, toss it into the sea. She'd walk and toss starfish one at a time into the sea. When the man finally caught up with her, he asked what she was doing, and she replied, "The starfish will die unless they are returned to the sea before the hot sun starts beating down upon them." The man said, "But this beach goes for miles and miles, and there are thousands and thousands of stranded starfish. How can your small effort make any difference?" The woman, picking up one starfish, holding it lovingly in her hand, she said, "It makes a big difference to this one." And with that, she returned it into the sea. The Lord lovingly and tenderly holds each of us. We listen in Paul to the Romans. The Spirit of God helps us in our weakness. Charles Clayton Morrison once wrote, "The Christian church is a society of sinners. It is the only society in the world in which membership is based on the single qualification that the candidate be unworthy of membership." Now that's fascinating. I like that. I'll repeat that again. The Christian church is a society of sinners. It is the only society in the world in which membership is based on the single qualification that the candidate is unworthy of membership. Weeds choke. Wheat is life for others. Never ever give up. God is with us. Look at the bright side. If we want the rainbow, we have to put up with the rain. Great insight. I didn't create that one, I found it. And there's a wonderful line from Leonard Cohen's song or anthem that goes, "Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." And may I add, that's how God's light gets in to help us see. For people who are the most open to grace are those who know how broken they are. May God bless all of you. Please stay healthy.
Yes, Lord, I believe that you